TypeScript 5 quietly killed the decorators you have been using for years. The new standardized decorators have a completely different signature, a different execution order, and they don't even need experimental decorators anymore. If you are still writing decorators the old Angular way, your code might silently break. Let's fix that properly at an advanced level. Decorators have lived two lives in TypeScript. The old life was the legacy experimental decorators behind the experimental decorators flag, used everywhere in Angular and NestJS. The new life is the TC39 Stage 3 standard, shipped natively in TypeScript 5.0 and refined through the 5.x releases. These two are not compatible. They take different arguments, run in a different order, and behave differently at runtime. Today we focus entirely on the modern standard. Here is the first surprise. To use modern decorators, you do nothing special. No experimental decorators, no emit decorator, metadata. You just need a target of ES 2022 or above and TypeScript 5 or newer. If you still have experimental decorators set to true in your T's config, you are opting back into the old behavior. So step 1 is to make sure that flag is gone. Every standard decorator is just a function that receives two arguments. The first is the value being decorated, a class, a method, a getter. The second is a context object that tells you what kind of thing you are decorating, its name, whether it is static, and gives you helpers like addInitializer. This context object is the heart of the new design. Forget the old target key descriptor signature entirely. The context kind field is a discriminated union. It can be class, method, getter, setter, field, or accessor. TypeScript ships a specific context type for each one. Class decorator, context, class method decorator context, class field decorator, context, and so on. Narrowing on kind gives you the exact context type with the right helpers. This is what makes modern decorators genuinely type safe. Let's write a real class decorator. A class decorator receives the class constructor as its value and a class decorator context. You can return a new class to replace the original or return nothing to leave it untouched. Here, we seal the class so no new properties can ever be added to instances. Notice we return undefined, meaning we keep the original class but apply a side effect. Class decorators get more powerful when you return a subclass. Here, our logged decorator returns an anonymous class that extends the original and logs every time an instance is created. Because we return a new class, that returned class becomes the actual exported value. This is how libraries inject behavior without you touching the original source. Run that file and you see the decorator fire exactly once per instance creation, because our subclass constructor runs every time. The original logic still works. We only wrapped it. This wrap don't rewrite pattern is the whole philosophy behind decorators. Now method decorators. A method decorator receives the method function as its value and a class method decorator context. The value is the original function and you return a replacement function. Here is a classic log decorator that wraps any method, prints its arguments and return value, then delegates to the original. Notice we preserve this by calling original apply with the correct context. Apply log to a method on a calculator class. When you call add, the wrapper runs first, logs the inputs, calls through to the real implementation, then logs the result. The original method never knows it was wrapped. This is the power of decorators applied to instrumentation. Logging, timing, retrees, all without polluting business logic. Here is the runtime proof. The arrow inline logs the arguments, the arrow outline logs the return. The actual addition still happens correctly in the middle. One decorator applied to any method gives you instant tracing. Method decorators can do something subtle and powerful: auto binding. The context gives you addInitializer, a callback that runs once per instance during construction. With this bound to the instance, we use it to permanently bind the method to its instance, so you can pass it as a callback without losing this. This replaces the old bind in constructor boilerplate entirely. Now detach the method and call it standalone. Without auto binding, this would be undefined and throw. With our abound decorator, this stays locked to the button instance, so the label resolves correctly. This is the cleanest auto-bind pattern available in modern TypeScript. Field decorators are the trickiest to understand. A field decorator does not receive the value. Fields have no value at decoration time. Instead, its value argument is undefined, and you return an initializer function. That function receives the field's initial value and returns the value the field should actually hold. Here we build a uppercase decorator that transforms any string field to uppercase on initialization. Most real-world decorators take configuration. That means a decorator factory, a function that takes your arguments and returns the actual decorator. Here is addRange, a field decorator factory that enforces minimum and maximum bounds. The outer function captures min and max. The inner function is the real field decorator. This closure pattern is how Angular's input and NestJS's get accept arguments. Use addRange with arguments just like a normal decorator call. A valid value passes through untouched. An out of range value throws at construction time before any bad data ever enters your system. This is validation as configuration, declarative, readable, and reusable across every field that needs it. TypeScript also added the accessor keyword, which creates an auto-backed getter and setter pair. An accessor decorator receives an object with get and set functions and returns a replacement pair plus an optional init. Here we build awk observable that fires a callback whenever the value changes. This is the foundation of reactive state libraries. Execution order in modern decorators is precisely specified and very different from the legacy flag. Decorator expressions are evaluated top to bottom, but the decorators themselves are applied bottom to top for stacked decorators on one member. Member decorators run before the class decorator, and all addInitializer callbacks run during construction in the order they were added. Knowing this order is essential when decorators interact. Let's make the order concrete. We define a trace factory that logs when its decorator runs, stack 2 on a method, and 1 on the class. The logs reveal the exact sequence. Expressions evaluate top-down, application runs member first and bottom-up within the stack, then the class decorator last. Run it yourself and watch the proof. Here is the result. All eval lines print first, top to bottom, because expressions are evaluated before anything is applied. Then apply. B runs before apply A. Bottom up within the stack. The class decorator applies last. Internalize this, and decorator interactions stop being mysterious. The stage 3 proposal also standardizes metadata. Every context object exposes a metadata object, and the class itself exposes it under the well-known Symbol.metadata. You attach metadata in one decorator and read it elsewhere. Perfect for building validators or serializers that scan a class. Here, we record which fields are required, then read that list off the class later. One gotcha: Symbol.metadata may not exist in your runtime yet, as of May 2026, depending on your node version. A one-line polyfill fixes it. Add this before any decorated code runs, or import a small package like the official polyfill. Once it exists, all your metadata-driven decorators just work. If you work with Angular or older NestJS, Here is the crucial warning. Those frameworks still rely on legacy experimental decorators with emit decorator, metadata, and reflect metadata. As of May 2026, NestJS supports standard decorators in newer versions, but many projects still run the legacy mode. You cannot mix the two in one compilation. So check which mode your TS config uses and never assume a decorator from a tutorial matches your project's mode. Before we wrap, 3 rules for production decorators. 1. Always narrow on context, kind, and use the specific context type for full type safety. 2. Prefer wrapping over replacing. Return a function or subclass. Keep the original logic intact. 3. Use addInitializer for per instance setup and Symbol.metadata for cross-decorator communication. Follow these and your decorators stay predictable, testable, and framework agnostic. So here are the 3 things to lock in. First, modern TypeScript decorators use the value and context signature with no experimental decorators flag. Totally different from the legacy ones. Second, each decorator kind has its own context type and behavior, with field decorators returning initializers and method decorators returning wrappers. Third, execution order and symbol.metadata are precisely defined, so decorator interactions are predictable once you know the rules. Next up in the TypeScript track, watch our deep dive on building a fully type-safe dependency injection container using these decorators and metadata. If this made decorators finally click, subscribe to Sucrid Learn Hub and drop a comment with the trickiest decorator bug you have ever hit. We turn the best ones into future videos.